Hello, listeners! You're listening to 18 Minutes with Satyal and Silwal. I am Satyal.
And I'm Silwal, and we're a weekly podcast from the Himalayas.
When it's a Tuesday and it's 7:30, you know it's time for perspectives, conversations, and stories.
Today we're just looking back on all the episodes that we've done so far.
How many is it?
It's been 5 months that we've started our journey, right? And we're on our 20th episode.
Glad you got that right.
I did my homework this time. So
yeah, we're just looking back on our journey so far. It's been an incredible ride. Although not a lot of people listen to us anyways, but we just started out thinking if only 20 people listen to us, it'll be great.
For our loyal listeners who are still there, right? Imagine the first episode, right? Go back to the first episode, listen to that, and then come back and listen to the recent episodes where we've changed us.
I want to save you from the trouble. We want to do a mimic of the first episode that we did. So this is how we started out. Hello, listeners. I'm Satyal.
And I'm Silwal.
Thank you for listening to the very first episode of this podcast. That was how you did it. I wanted to go back to it, and now when I listen to it, I find it so funny. We were so stiff, and we weren't laughing a lot. We weren't having fun. We were taking a lot of pressure that time.
It was not until the fifth episode or the fourth episode that we actually started, changing our voices and we became more enthusiastic, because one of the feedback, constructive criticism was you guys were not enthusiastic enough, and until that point we had not realized we were that bad. And then I think it was Kritika who said, be more enthusiastic, and we've become more enthusiastic.
We've become heatful, so thank you, Kritika, for that advice. Do you remember that one time when we were comparing our episodes from the first till the 9th and how our intro changed? So do you remember the first version of the intro that we did?
The one that we didn't release?
No, I mean, right now we say perspectives, conversation, stories when it's a Tuesday, right? But before that, there was a specific line there. This is a 18-minute trivia. Let's see how well you know your own show.
I don't know. I'm very bad at my memories.
Okay, I remember it. Because I was the one to come up with it. So do you remember this time when we said, if you're wondering what we do, we're just two friends who hang out, talk about life, and through this medium, we want to bring in perspectives from different walks of life for you. And do you remember how we got into the perspectives, conversations, and stories part? We had this big argument.
Yes. I remember the perspectives, conversations, and stories, because there was a big debate on which word to go first. I remember that. And
I was vouching for 18 minutes, perspectives,
stories, and conversations, or something like that. And I was like, perspectives, conversation, and stories. That rhymes together or something like that.
And even within that, permutations and combinations of the words, how would you? But I think we are happy with how it has come out. In case you haven't turned the show off yet.
Yeah, we're just reminiscing on our previous days, our glorious days when we had more than 500, 600 views. But now it's not more than 200.
So, okay, before we go into the specific episodes and talk about the memories from those episodes, I want to ask you, how has the journey been like for you? How has this helped you in your life?
I think the first difference that you can see is our speaking has improved.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
At least for us.
We are more enthusiastic in our approach these days. Like, even if we are talking in public to other people, there's a sense of excitement and enthusiasm, which was probably there, but this honed our skills a bit. It's more fun. This has still not felt like work.
Yeah.
I think this has really helped us.
Yeah. The best part is we can initiate a conversation with just about anyone.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, I run a podcast. What do you think about this? Yeah. Or hey, I think you should come to the podcast. Let's hang out.
Yeah.
That is your, cheap trick into dating girls. But I haven't done that yet. So maybe I should try that. But yeah, it's been nice. And like you said, speaking has improved a lot. So our diction, the way we talk, I think if we compare the first episode, we definitely have come a long way.
We are more enthusiastic. We are more enthusiastic. Anyways, what I wanted to say was, of all the episodes that we've done, 20 people more than 20 people that we've met. More than our speaking, it's the amount of people that we've actually gone out and met.
Yeah.
Right. For me, you'd known Prithu for some time. I had not known Prithu. Now I saw, 2 weeks ago I saw him on the road, and I was like, hey, how are you doing? And that was good. We had never heard of Deepak's Dai, but the one we did the live
in a Nepali theater.
Yeah. He's there.
He's
because
there.
Whenever we need to think of a Nepali theater now, we can actually go and talk to him.
Definitely.
Get free tickets maybe one day. I don't know.
For me, Bertha, man. I was just big fan of Bertha, and I always wanted to do this show, but Animesh helped us connect with Bertha because they were playing in a band together quite a few years back.
You got to meet your...
And do you remember how starstruck I was, and I couldn't even talk properly while we started the podcast?
I know. I remember that. Then, Random Nepali, a growing YouTuber just commented on us that we're doing a good job.
Yeah, and that was a big moment because
that was a big moment for us.
When we see the views and everything, it's so disappointing.
Yeah,
and we had someone with a huge subscriber base wrote to us.
Yeah, I think I was talking to Abhishek Maske a few days ago, and he told me, you might not have a lot of viewers, but you have some dedicated followers.
Definitely.
And the project that I'm doing with Ashmi right now, the Classroom and Beyond one, why don't you promote it on your podcast? Because this is a place where there's dedicated viewers. So yeah, I just did that.
You just did that.
So if you're interested in knowing more about Classroom and Beyond, just message me on my private message. Anyways.
Awesome. And one good thing was we've also had two very young guests.
The youngest one was Koshish.
He was 15.
Amazing guy.
Very mature for his
age. he actually changed the way we said it's never too late to start and give us a new perspective.
It's never too early to start.
Perspective. Adi, which we did in the 19th episode, that was really fun. Getting to know Abhijit, that.
Yeah, Musafir.
Yeah, Musafir. Getting to know him a lot more, it feels good to.
And the way he appreciated us for calling him into the podcast was such a nice feeling. And I just felt like that day, I felt like, wow, we've actually created something that gives joy to other people.
And you had to be there to witness the love that was there.
The hospitality and everything was just so amazing. And we connected beyond, our podcast. Formal introduction. So that was awesome. Okay, one thing that stands out for you in this 5-month journey.
There's so many things, man. From the moment it started with Sashwat, you and I in this room, we talked about starting a podcast, and he was in his sofa, and I was in your bed, and you were on your chair, and that's when we started it out. That was one of the highlight of the entire journey, because that was the start of it. I don't know, man. There's so many I cannot just. For you, but except Bertha, because you're still awestruck on her.
A lot of times, not just one particular moment, but one time when you said that you're out, I thought you ditched me, and then you just left me on my own.
Yeah,
we were about to record the second podcast. I was thinking, what the hell am I gonna do with this? Because without you, the dynamics has, of course, been very different. Yeah. And I can remember the episode I did with Prarambha. The episode 16. The 16th episode, presenting the life of a prisoner. It was a big challenge for me to do it without you, because obviously the dynamics was missing. And you could see the comments where people just turned it off in the first minute because they couldn't hear your voice. So we clearly know who's more popular. But a lot of other times, when people have wrote to us saying, I read your podcast.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I read your podcast. I listened to your podcast.
Yeah, right. Satyal is getting better at English. You can see that, obviously. Juliana writing to us time and again, telling us to, connect with this person and that person. That was really awesome. We're giving shout outs to all those people. Neeraj, who says that he's one of the first listeners. Prince, who always listens to us from Germany.
Yeah.
Just them people just writing to us sometimes, or just saying the good things about us,
And a big shout out, because you talked about friends. Our friend Ajay Gerard Satyal, who is my cousin, he has bought us a mic. And for some reason, we've not been able to take it from America. But you should see that love and support. He said, you guys are doing an amazing job. Amazing job. Amazing. Okay, remember the time when you said reflection?
I don't know which episode was reflection, yes.
Do you know why this happened? We forgot to do our exercise. Yes. Let's tell our listeners what we do.
We actually do this voice modulation test. that we learned it from
Julian
Treasure
in his
That's
TED Talk.
In his TED Talk, it's a 9 minute, 8 to 9
How
minute
to
video.
speak so that the other person listens. That's the TED Talk. So let's do a sample of that. Man.
No, I don't want to.
You don't want to do that? He doesn't want to give away his secret recipe.
I just gave you the YouTube, and you learn it from the professionals. Don't learn it from us.
So what next for the podcast, man? Because obviously the views have saturated.
Yeah.
With very limited viewers. Listeners, I should
but
say.
I think that's the beauty of it. 200 exclusive people who are listening to us. Whether it comes out the moment we release it, or they listen to it the moment we release it, or they listen this on the next day, or that 200 people, at least we're entertaining them. Maybe one day we'll be as famous as other YouTubers and have like 1 million subscribers, but for now 200 people feels really special. So
yeah, 335 subscribers. 100 of them are sleeping, like you mentioned in the last episode.
50 of them is Satyal's anonymous accounts on YouTube. I don't know what he does. If you look at the Nepali YouTube trending page, it's all because of Satyal. Let me tell you that. And his anonymous accounts. So what else, man? I think you talked about, what are your highlights? When we got to talk about our second chances, when we talk about quarter life crisis, when we talked about, things that matter to us, right?
Yeah.
That really makes me happy. And sometimes when people connect to us.
Yeah, and when we ask for people's suggestions and we compile them up and present an argument and just have a debate as to what should be done, how it should be ahead.
Yeah, the amount of messages or the comments that we got on your page, on your status, on the filler year or before
quarter life crisis
as well. Those were things that people relate to us, right? Filler year, Antovna was like, I'm gonna make my parents listen to this,
and she shouldn't have said that because we played a game.
We actually played a game against her, But that's the beauty of it, right?
Yeah. So, for listeners there are some listeners who wanted to come to the show.
Yeah.
Because there's this one episode when you couldn't come, and I put in a status, and again, like you said, a lot of comments, a lot of them wanted to come. I just had to select one, so I called in Prarambha. So maybe in the future episodes,
he was bribed. Let me tell you that he was bribed.
Maybe we can call in our listeners and just have a nice conversation with them.
Talking about calling our listeners, one thing that we've not done is the getaway.
Yeah,
we talked about that so many months ago, and we're trying to do that, but you can call it excuses, you can call it
I just say life happened.
Yes.
That is the best way you can say it to it.
Yeah, but hopefully we'll do it soon enough. When we do it, everyone's invited.
Yeah. Okay, pick one favorite episode of yours.
My favorite episode. So difficult for me to pick, man.
Okay, choose two.
Thank you for making it so easy. Why don't you give me another? I think.
I thought it was hard for you to choose one, so why don't you choose two?
I think out of second chances and quarter life crisis, those are very personal to me because that really connected with a lot of people. Menstruation was another special one because right after the pilot we had to do something and we had to be creative, and why we had to do that episode as well. There's stories for us.
Yeah.
Where once we start writing a book, probably on 18 minutes we'll have some stories to say. Bertha one, the way she talked, that is like, even to this day, if I listen to her, it's like so soothing and amazing. So I don't have any two, man.
He took all this while to say that he does not have a favorite episode. My favorite episodes, two, if I had to pick, one would be the quarter life. I would, then if I don't have to choose Bertha's episode, I would say quarter life crisis.
Yeah.
And I would also go with the Museum of Happiness, man. Because when we talk to Shamash, he's like an inspiration. He's like an amazing speaker and amazing soul.
And if you did not know, our podcast is for 18 minutes. But with Samash, we talked for more than
45 minutes, 50 minutes. Yeah.
And it was so difficult to cut things out, right?
He was just so smooth, man.
Yes.
There was no fillers in the way he spoke.
You talk about us being good at English, listen to that person. The way he spoke on for 45 minutes, it was amazing to listen to it. So, and we also got a lot of ideas from him. The community and friendship, the compassion, the 4 C's.
4 C's
that we always talk about. We got that from him. So that was really nice. The don't take yourself too seriously episode. That was a fun one. Would you rather one was another fun one.
Yeah, all these episodes were fun, man. I'm so glad that we started on this because you always talk about how we created 18 minutes that was not there before we started this, and suddenly we've created it. And when we look back, we've pivoted a lot. We've gone from certain formulas that we thought would work. We changed it because you talked about how we talked with Shamas for 40-45 minutes. What we used to do was we used to talk to a guest for 40-50 minutes and then cut out the parts and put it into an 18-minute package. What we realized was we were just asking questions. We were not having conversations. So we put that away.
And we wanted to be as impromptu and just go on with it as much as possible. We had the Jantago voice or Jantago awaz in our first.
Yeah, that was a way of getting everyone involved. Yes. But then we stopped asking questions.
That was a very smart one because we wanted to tag everyone, who asked us questions and that would give us some views, and that worked for a while. But then people figured it out, I guess.
One low. Tell me one low you had during the whole of the podcast. Because it's not always been highs, it's been lows as well. One low.
I think when I couldn't do the 16th episode, I had my own personal problems and I felt bad leaving you alone for that episode. The second episode, we had some plans for our second episode, and that made us, that made me feel low. And my third low would be, but I would not call that a low, but right after the first episode, someone said that these guys would not last, and that really pinched me. And
this guy who's, let's not take his name, but he's supposedly from this media house and was running a lot of blogs, and somebody just recommended our name to him saying, let's do a story on them. And he said, these guys won't last.
Yeah.
And it's just Jose Matro, they will not last. And let me tell you that we've come 20 episodes.
Yeah, right. So, hi, if you're listening to us, how does it feel listening to the 20th episode when you even didn't think that you would last for 5 episodes? So,
But anyways, we took that as a motivation. And
I wouldn't call that as a low, but that really pushed us.
Yeah.
Whenever I give examples, I tell sometimes you need people who point you and look you down so that you can always climb up against them and show them what's up.
Okay, I'll just remind you of one low and then we'll wrap up the episode. Remember the time when we were so sad that our shows weren't getting good views, and then the celebrity had just given birth to her child, and that was getting shared. We felt so bad. We felt like we were adding value to people's lives.
I actually was disappointed with that. I was breaking down.
I was surprised you didn't take that name. Probably you didn't remember. But I just wanted to remind you that.
Memory, so.
Anyway, so listeners, that was a look back at the 20 episodes we've done so far.
Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this. In some ways, it was a more reflection for us. I hope if you've been hearing us for the entire time on all the other episodes, you've somehow connected to some of them. Satyal, any last words that you might have?
Just one favorite moment I want to share. There's one listener, I forgot her name, I'm sorry about that. She wrote to us and she said, I'm having exams, I don't want to study, I'm doing a marathon of your episodes from the very start. That was a wonderful moment. Smiti? I'm sorry about that, but we love you.
Yes, we do.
Okay, listeners, so that was a reflection episode of the 18 minutes of Satyal and Silwal. We hope you listen to us again next week. We'll be back again next Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. on YouTube and on SoundCloud.
Thanks to Animes Animax Resta for his
always being there right from the start.
Always being there. So thank you so much. We have something interesting lined up in our future episodes. So do stay tuned. Until then,
it's never too late to start.